Hi, good afternoon. I'm Caroline. I'm your dietitian for the day.
Oh, nice to meet you, Caroline.
What's your name?
Matt.
Matt, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was beautiful. The whole family was in.
Yeah.
We got to enjoy ourselves on Thursday. My daughter lives in Charlotte. Her and her husband were in, and the rest of the family made it in from college, so we had a wonderful day.
Sounds like some safe travels. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yes, and the weather was nice, so we really enjoyed a beautiful day.
Did you do anything else? Go out of the house at all?
The day before, we went to Churchill Downs. We went to the Turf Club. The whole family got to go to the Turf Club, so it's good having the whole family together, and we like doing activities like that.
Yeah, any big winners?
Yeah, we had a couple winners that day. Yeah, we won 3 races out of 7, so I'll take that. That's better than not cashing in at all.
Whenever I go to the track, I always lose all my money. I'm just not very good at betting, so.
We got lucky that day.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you had some winners. So what brings you in today to see me?
Well, I've been fighting high blood pressure all my life, and at a stage in my life that I know it's a little more critical as I get a little bit older, so I really want to be aware of my day-to-day diet that I'm eating to help lower my blood pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great place to be in. A lot of people at your age don't think that is one of the major things to be concerned about. So that's great that you're coming in and being proactive with me about it. I'd like to start with just getting a little bit about your background, family history, and see if that could contribute to why you're having some high blood pressure. So do you have a family history of high blood pressure?
Yes, it's in the family, very much so. My mother and father both are on blood pressure medication right now. My mother more than my father. She's been on blood pressure and been watching her diet for 30 plus years.
Well, that's good. It's nice to see somebody at that age in their life watching their diet. Yeah. So a good role model.
She does a good job. She really monitors what she eats and very careful in her day-to-day routine.
Yeah, and I'm going to be taking some notes today. Is that all right with you?
That's great.
Okay. Yeah. Mother's side, all right. And do you have any kind of special diets that you're trying to do other than maybe a low sodium that we're talking about?
I try to take everything into account, but mostly my low sodium I try to reduce as much as I possibly can, probably not as much as I should. Yeah. But I keep an eye on that to try to stay away from the fatty foods and the salty foods as much as I can. Yeah,
that can be really hard around Christmas, Thanksgiving time. I know.
Well, I travel a lot too, so I'm on the road all the time and trying to find a regular stable diet when you're on the road is very tough to do.
Yeah, I totally understand. Stopping at those gas stations, there's not that many options.
Fast food, anything like that.
Yeah, so we can definitely talk about that today, which kind of gets into the eating environment. So you said you're eating in your car. Do you cook at home, eat in your kitchen?
Usually breakfast would be at home, so I've got a better control of that. And then lunch would always be out.
Okay.
Very seldom am I home for lunch. And then dinner would be about 50-50 because I'm on the road quite a bit, but home quite a bit as well.
And are you making those meals when you're at home?
Yes.
Okay. That is great to know. And who does the grocery shopping for you in the family?
My wife.
Okay, wife. Great. And after a couple sessions, maybe we can bring her since she is the main provider of those grocery shoppings, because that can be really hard too. Going in, since you're making your own meals, it's hard to pick from high sodium foods if that's what she's picking.
Absolutely.
So how many times a week do you think that you would eat out? You said it was 50-50?
Yeah, dinner would be 50-50. Lunch would be 100% of the time.
Okay.
And then, like I said, breakfast would most of the time be at home. Okay, so perfect. That's really my only meal that I have total control over.
Okay, perfect. So what I want to do now, I want to talk about, we're going to have a 24-hour recall. And that's essentially what you ate all day from start to finish. And I know during the holidays it can be a little different from what
Weekends
a typical...
are always difficult.
Yeah, what a typical day can look like for you. So if you want to do a typical day, we can. A 24-hour recall is really going to give me the best insight on what your diet is looking like on a typical day. And then after that, how to manage high blood pressure is one of my big goals. I'll explain what high blood pressure is and why it is dangerous. It seems like you have a pretty good knowledge of what high blood pressure is, so we don't have to spend much time on that. I would like to see you again, so some scheduling and then setting up some goals for this week, this month, what I'd like to see you doing. Does that sound all right to you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That'd be great.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about high blood pressure and what hypertension is, and I actually have a little sheet for you here today, and you can look at it. So it explains what high blood pressure is, and as you can see, it's a force of blood pushing against the blood vessels, which to me doesn't sound like a lot, but essentially what that means is it's putting strain on your arteries, on your veins. And when you have that strain, it's also the arteries and veins in your heart and in your kidneys, and that can be really dangerous. And high blood pressure is the second leading cause of chronic kidney disease. So we definitely don't want you getting there, which is why prevention is definitely the key. And there's a ton of different things you can do on the back side here, a whole list of how you can manage your high blood pressure, which we'll talk about. But that is what we are looking at today. So you have on here that your blood pressure is 140/85, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So that does put you in the high blood pressure here. Your blood pressure is always changing from day to day, hour to hour. So we don't consistently want you to be there. That is putting strain on your heart and in your vessels. And so any way that we can lower that is really what we're targeting today. Okay, so now we're going to do the 24-hour recall. And like I said, this is what you had the moment you got up yesterday all the way through until the moment
Do you want to do a typical day, or do you actually want to do a weekend for Thanksgiving weekend, because you're out going to a lot of restaurants? So
I'd say let's do a typical day for you.
Okay.
Okay, so you
Typical
wake up
day,
in the morning.
Yeah, I would start with breakfast. And
Okay.
usually breakfast, I try to keep it simple and do straight up a bagel. I'll toast a bagel, I'll put butter on it, and then jelly or a bowl of cereal.
Awesome.
Protein, I try to get eggs in there every once in a while, and I stay away from bacon, unfortunately, which I love bacon, and it's tough to stay away from.
Yeah,
but
I know.
realize how salty that is.
I'm all big about moderation, everything in moderation.
Okay.
So if you want to throw that bacon in maybe 2-3 times a week, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't want to take anything away from you. Just modifying your diet is what I'm all about. Okay, so I'm really liking your bagel and your jelly. Butter is something that you need to look at with sodium, which surprises a lot of people. And I actually brought some almonds today because I wanted to show you where to look for that sodium.
Okay.
So if you go on here, I'm sure you've seen it before. Sodium is essentially another word for salt. So everywhere you're going to look is that sodium, and it'll tell you what percentage of your daily value, how much you should be getting that day. And like almonds, people think almonds are super high in sodium. But if you look at the right kind, these I brought toasted coconut, favorite kind. Really, it's only 1% of your daily value. So these are very low, great snack.
How big of a serving is that?
For this one, it'd be 28 nuts. So that's a good handful or two. Yeah, and these are super easy to throw in your car. Roadside snack. They come in a ton of different flavors. If you like spicy, they have soy sauce and wasabi, which is a really great option too. So just looking at those nutrition labels, especially the salted butter, you need to watch what kind of butter you want.
So your traditional butters will be pretty high in sodium?
Yeah, you need to just go and look at the nutrition label. So there's low sodium, no sodium. So just being conscious of that butter. But yeah, having that on a bagel. Bagels traditionally don't have that much sodium in them. Again, being conscious of those nutrition labels. Okay, do you have any milk with your cereal?
Yes, but usually I do the soy or the silk milk.
That's awesome. Okay, and any coffee at breakfast time?
Yes, coffee every morning.
Creamer with that?
Black.
Okay, perfect. All right, and what typically is the next thing you do during the day?
Food-wise, of course, lunch, and that's always the most challenging. But I stay away from anything fast food. If I do a fast food, I'll do a grilled chicken sandwich at one of the places, but I realize now that even those grilled chicken sandwiches have a lot of salt in them.
Well, even if you stop to go get those chicken sandwiches, and if you enjoy those, I'm a huge fan of the chicken. I would definitely keep that in. But maybe going for a 20-minute walk at the end of the day to lower that blood pressure. So everything in moderation. Again, like I said, I like that grilled chicken sandwich, so I'm not going to take that away from you. But then again,
I've heard that deli meats you're supposed to stay away from because they're processed with so much. So I try to stay away from your traditional sub sandwiches and things like that because of the deli meats. You don't know. I try to do tuna fish at lunch, but even with tuna fish, I never know how they're preparing it. You know, if I got a tuna fish, or if you're in a little canister, I've noticed that they'll still put a lot of salt in there to preserve it. So I don't have a good lunch plan unless you just do a straight up salad.
Well, we can look at some lunch options
and I'm
too.
on the road a lot, so I have to have something that's kind of easy to get in and get out, because a lot of times I'll eat in my car.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can look at some snack options as well.
Okay.
Are you drinking throughout the day? Are you drinking any water?
Yes, a little water. I'll drink water in the morning, and usually some bottled water, and then the rest of the afternoon I'll probably have a Diet Coke.
Okay. And then what's the next thing that you do? You say you traditionally have a snack in the car, so what do those snacks kind of look like?
My snacks, I've been better with like peanut butter with crackers, and I try to get the low sodium crackers.
Awesome.
And I'll do a fruit during the day. I'll get an apple.
Yeah, that's great.
Banana, something along those lines. I used to be a big pretzel fan, but I had to get rid of the pretzels because they had too much, so I don't do the pretzels or anything bagged like that. I'll do a popcorn every once in a while.
Yeah, popcorn's a great option.
Yeah.
Especially that skinny pop that's out, because I know it can be kind of bland, but I like to put some seasoning on my salt, and not necessarily on my popcorn. So not necessarily a seasoned salt, but even putting like a little spice in it, like chipotle, not chipotle, but like a little, there's different ones. There's a ranch one and a jalapeno one, and you can go into the grocery and look for those too,
that's a good idea.
Which is definitely going to give you a little bit more of that flavor back that you're missing sometimes. So I'm really glad to hear that you've taken the pretzels out. If you do enjoy those pretzels, get a bag or two once a week. Yeah, treat yourself. I like the peanut butters and crackers and the apple and the banana. The peanut butter, you can actually get low sodium peanut butter, which is what I eat all the time. I cannot taste a difference at all. So definitely looking into that would be a good option too.
Perfect.
All right, what else are we doing throughout the day?
That would be my only snack during the day, and then dinner. And like I said, that's a 50-50 split. And dinner, you talk about moderation. Usually I let my guard down a little at dinner time, especially when I'm out on the road. I'll normally get a steak and a baked potato. I'll have a salad, a glass of wine, or a beer.
All right. And what about when you're at home? What are your dinners kind of looking like?
It'll vary. We have a lot of chicken, and we have a lot of fish. We don't eat a ton of red meat, but we'll do that occasionally. Yeah,
I like the occasional red meat.
Some of the bad things that we do are some of the processed foods, and I know those are bad.
Yeah.
Bob Evans mashed potatoes, which is a big staple for us, and I know those are. But that's where I kind of let my guard down at night. And that was a question I was going to have for you. If you're moderating your sodium, is it bad to have a lot of sodium, more sodium at night when you're getting ready for bed, or does that have any effect on it?
I wouldn't necessarily have that big of an effect. When you are at rest, your blood pressure is traditionally lower, which makes sense. So that is going to increase your blood pressure, which I guess would be a little bit better compared to eating a lot of sodium and then going out and running and it being really hard on your vessels. Again, I'm a big fan of just monitoring it out throughout the day. And one thing on this is the 1,500 milligrams a day, which probably means nothing to you because it doesn't mean anything to me. But if you have noticed you're not eating that much salt throughout the day, I'd be fine with a higher sodium dinner at night.
Okay, so if you moderate low during the day, then you can have a regular dinner, but just not do salty French fries or something like that. Yeah.
And if you are having a saltier day and you still want that kind of salty dinner, that's fine. But including some exercise afterwards to lower that blood pressure is definitely an option too.
Now, the fish is better for you at dinner when they're preparing them at a restaurant, or they still put a lot of seasoning in those? Would they still be pretty salty?
That's hard to say because different restaurants are going to be preparing it different ways. So really it's hard to...
So you have no control over that when you're out there
at
the
restaurant?
restaurant?
Sure, asking a server too, telling them that you are on a low sodium diet or watching your sodium, seeing if they could accommodate you at all. I worked in a restaurant, so I know for sure we could have accommodated something for you.
Altered their regular meals.
Definitely. But things that are already pre-made, maybe some rice that they make, may already have seasonings and things like that. But definitely asking is always an option too.
Great.
So, perfect. Do you have anything after dinner, or you do go to bed?
Not really. Occasional light dessert, but nothing that often.
Perfect. All right, so we got the bagel in the morning, or the cereal with the almond milk, throwing in some eggs, which I like. Coffee black. For lunch, it's kind of on the road, so you're doing fast food, but you're really watching what you're eating, which is awesome. Avoiding those deli meats. And then afternoon snack would be the peanut butter and crackers with apple and banana. And then dinner, you're having the steak and potato, or if you're at home, a fish or a chicken. Sometimes red meat, but a potato. Are you eating any vegetables at dinner time?
Yes, we usually have one vegetable.
Awesome.
And I don't eat vegetables really during the day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we can talk about that too. Some easy ways to incorporate some vegetables into your everyday diet too. And how are these all prepared? Do you usually grill them, fry them?
I would say most of the time they're boiled.
Boiled?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, because as you mentioned, a lot of those frying foods can raise your blood pressure right away.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, well, that diet is looking pretty good to me. So next we're going to just talk about modifying it a little bit. You said you really wanted some ideas on how to do those snacks. So like I said, the almonds are a great way to go. Popcorn, again, is a good way to go. If you go down the aisle in the grocery store and just kind of flipping around and seeing what those sodium levels are. I like the peanut butter, so if you want to try...
what else would you put with peanut butter?
Peanut butter sandwiches. I like peanut butter sandwiches. You could put some jelly on it and do half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich during the day. Peanut butter, you can pretty much put on anything if you want to have a bagel later in the day.
Okay.
And then you can slice up that banana and put it on top, and that'll give you some fiber, and that'll help you stay fuller longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying some new snacks, and that can definitely be a goal this week. Go with your wife to the grocery store and look at a few different options and picking out one or two snacks that are low sodium, but you also are kind of interested in, and seeing if you like those and taking them on the road with you. And if you hate them, ditch them and try a new snack the next week.
Right.
So does that sound like something you can do?
Yeah. Do you want to stay away from most of the seasonings, because traditionally are the seasonings more loaded or have more salt, or is there a good type of seasoning that you have seen that is lower sodium?
That is a good question. I don't know if I've necessarily looked at the different sodium contents of the seasonings, but I would imagine they would all vary.
Most of the time you'd have to stay away from them.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that they would vary a ton.
Right.
Okay, so then with dinner, I like where you are with that right now. Beer and wine especially is going to raise your blood pressure, so just monitoring how much you're drinking. A night, stick to two glasses of wine is recommended for men, so no more than 2 glasses of wine or 1 or 2 beers. I definitely would manage that. Adding more vegetables throughout the day. Like you said, do you like salads? You mentioned a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe enjoying that grilled chicken sandwich, but also getting a side salad. That would be an awesome way to get some vegetables throughout the day. And it would give you a lot of that fiber too.
Are your dressings high in salt?
I would watch some of your dressings. The amount that they're giving you on the side, I traditionally wouldn't worry about, just because you are being so cautious about how much sodium you're getting throughout the day. But I wouldn't have like 5 packets of sauce or 5 dressings on a salad.
Right.
So 1 or 2
moderation
is good.
again.
Yeah, moderation. Okay, and so then another goal we would like to set, we're going to have try the new snack, and then working out. Exercise. How much do you say you do that a week?
I try to get at least a minimum of 20 minutes 4 days a week.
Okay. So throwing in maybe some more exercise. It is recommended 165 minutes a week. So 20 minutes, you're doing, you said,
short 4. Yeah.
So you are coming up a little short on that. Throwing in a little bit.
What's that number again?
20.
A week?
It's 156, and I can write that down for you.
Okay.
It's on every website you go and look on, and that's moderate activity.
Yeah.
So
Walking.
just going out, walking a family dog,
Okay.
or going on a walk with your wife, anything like that would be great. So we have the exercising to lower your blood pressure, being conscious of that, and then trying the new snacks. And I think those are two very achievable goals,
Right.
easy goals to
And
modify.
watching your sodium intake with
Yeah.
the gauges or what the
Yeah.
information they have on the package.
Yeah, absolutely. Reading those. All right. Well, I'd like to see you again in about a month. So does that sound all right to you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for meeting
All right.
with me today.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Oh.